All right. Thank you for joining me for this week's Lunch and Learn by your host, Dan Hotka. My short disclaimer. Today we're going to talk about SQL Developer, and I want to show you some reports in SQL Developer, but I mostly want to show you how to make a master detail browser. Other tools have this feature. I really like it, and I use it to create test data for my applications when you've got referential integrity. It's really handy, and it's a really simple way of getting related test data. Okay, I am an Oracle ACE director, and I assume that I have pretty much the regular group, but I never know if I have somebody new. I am well authored. You can register for and get a direct link to these announcements. I think most people are coming in via the email blast that I do the morning of these events. But you'll get some offers of the public courses I have going on, and when I've done something cool like published a new book. I'm also well featured on Toad World, where I regularly blog. I do regular training as a regular part of my career. I have a one-course fee. I do have a public class coming up over the web, and if you have a group there, it is the Advanced PL SQL class, and I'll show it here in a moment. The outline is out on my website, and I'm pretty excited about it. I do have headcount. The class is going to run. I do run a variety of other classes as well. So it is a public class, and the setup is pretty easy. And if you have a group of people at your site, I will give you a pretty good rate. Okay, so just ask. So today we're going to do SQL Developer, all right, and with some test data tips shortly. I will put these presentations and these slides, the presentation recording and the slides out on my website. It'll be out there shortly. So there is the public class. It's the mornings of February 9th. It will start at 9 o'clock Central Time, so 8 o'clock Mountain Time, and 10 o'clock East Coast Time. So I'll be flexible as to the group. I do have a group of people from Colorado already in the class. So half-day format. Great class. Another name for this class could easily be New Features for Developers. I do have Oracle 12 things in it. I basically run the lab environment off an Oracle 11 environment yet. 10, 11, 12, and if people want me to talk about some older stuff, I can. But basically, those are the features that it'll cover, and it's a good class. I teach it a lot. So today's topic is SQL Developer, Master Detail Browser. I'm going to build this in front of you. And actually, I forgot to take that out. It's just another cheesy plug for my class coming up. Last week's examples were out of the class. This one, I don't know. I could show this in the class and then claim that it's material that's out of my class. Well, anyway, I've got SQL Developer 4.0. I have to be honest, I've been a little lax. I've not gone out to look, see if there's a little bit more current one. I know Jeff Smith was talking and showing some cool features of the upcoming one here this last fall. I'm assuming that one is out. So I want to show you a few things reporting wise. I want to show you how to build your own master detail report, and of course anything with the data grid in SQL Developer, you can save the data. You can save it as insert scripts. You can save it as, I think, data loader scripts and everything. So we'll take a look at those things. So let me jump over to SQL Developer. And first thing that I like is the start page when it starts up. You can turn this off in the options, but I leave it on. Well, you got live demonstrations, tutorials, all kinds of cool stuff. Let me make sure everything is fine here, which I'm assuming it is. Yep, very good. All right, nobody's saying that I'm talking and the slides aren't moving. On the left side, you got your connections and, of course, your reports. And I don't know why my SQL Developer is deciding to do this. Like I said, I got a little bit of the slows here. I didn't think I clicked on anything. There we go. We've got a variety of reports. One of the things that I think is quite powerful with SQL Developer, let me click on this, there we go, is it's got a whole bunch of Application Express stuff in it, okay? So if you're using Apex, it's got a whole bunch of Apex stuff in it, all right, which is pretty cool. The ASH reports, the newer features that introduced in Oracle 10, the We'll take a look at these real quick too. The AWR reports are all in there. The thing that I kind of like, especially as a developer, is some database parameters. Sometimes I need to go out and quickly see what a certain parameter is set at. Sometimes if I'm doing some tuning, there's some tuning things that are of importance out here. But for the most part, I'm interested in a particular init.aura setting. You do need to have access to $$ parameter to run this. And I'm not going to let it look for any particular one. I just want the whole list to come up. And the whole list should appear here in a second. And there it is. Puts it in alphabetical order. We can see what everything is set at. Usually I'm out here looking at what, for the tuning class, you go down here to the end. The user dump dest. User dump dest. And where is it on my system? And of course this is changing in Oracle 12. But we can see a variety of options, and I like that. Some more data dictionary views. Okay, all the $$ SQL stuff is covered pretty nicely. Various options throughout the thing, various reports, and your own reports. And what I wanted to show you here is I made one this morning. We'll go with this one here. I apologize. My PC's kind of got the slows, and of course it might just be the web interface that is doing it. Come on, SQL Developer. Please be good. I'm going out of my way to show people what a fine software solution you are. Managing to embarrass me in front of everybody. My PC has the slows. Come on. Hello. Don't you hate it when this happens? Everything works fine, just like the telephone. My portable phone doesn't ring for days and days and days. And then, well, that's nice. What did it do? There we go. Okay. Doesn't ring for days and days and days, and then when it does ring, everything rings at once. So I've run my master detail report. I made this morning. I can click on a row, and it will find the related rows to this row. You have to kind of know what your parent table is. In the empt and depth world, it's departments is the primary, and the children rows are the employees that report to each department. So we can click on each of these down here, and it's going to take us to each one. You can have multiple children off of the main report. You just can't have children off of children. I've talked to the SQL Developer people about this. I don't know if they're going to put it in or not. So anyway, how do we build this? Okay, so I'm going to go out here and right mouse click, and I want a new report. So you can put a new folder in here. There isn't any reason you can't use this tool for any of those scripts that you've written yourself, you run in SQL Plus or something, or you open them in SQL Developer and just click on the Run button. Why you just can't make a report out of it? You come down here and click on it, and it'll run it. So let's go ahead and make a new one, and I'm going to call this New Emp Dep. Let's call it Lunch and Learn. Okay, it's based off of a table. It can be based off of a variety of things, but we're going to base it off of a table. When you put a description in here and a tooltip, when you hover over the report, that's when this stuff appears. And the SQL is quite simply select star from dep. And I'm going to apply that. And it's going to build us. There's our Lunch and Learn Master Detail Report. And there's our basic report. Now I can export this. I can publish to Apex. Okay, I can bring the rows up in a single record viewer. I can export the rows. This is what I was talking about. As insert scripts, you give it the table name, whatever you want. It's going to put it in this file. Okay, and so that's how you would get the data out. Now, let's go ahead and edit this report, and we're going to add a child report. So there's our main report. We didn't have any description, so I want to add, right mouse click, maybe, add a child, oops, edit, child reports, add child, and this is my imp detail, whatever you want to call it. Now we open that, and you'll see there's a query, SQL query. And we'll put our query in there. There's the primary one, and we could see any columns, any where clauses, and we just do a select. And I don't know that this needs to be in caps, but it does need to come in as a bind variable, okay? I don't know that this part needs to be in caps or not, but it does need to come in as a bind variable of a column that's in the other table. What are you relating it to? Okay, what is the parent-child relationship? What are you relating it to? Okay, and you go ahead and put that in, and I'm going to say apply. And now we get a second grid, and as I click on the rows, it will paint them in. Isn't that cool? So now I can right mouse click, export, and I want it in depdata.sql. Okay, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to put a commit after every 100 rows. I want to make insert statements out of it. I'm doing test data here. All right, and I'm going to finish, and it did it. There's the rows that it did. Wish it would have put a commit statement in there for me. Now I'm going to go back here, right mouse click on the imp grid, export, and then I'm going to call this imp data. This is my related data now to the other one. I can do a imp data.sql, okay, and next, and finish. And we just have, if we notice here, I just have the ones that were on the screen, the department 30. That was the one that I had in the department table highlighted, so that's all it exported was what was on the screen. Didn't put a commit statement in it again, but we can copy this, we can write this to a file. I would copy and paste this out, and I do believe because I put those files in here, we go out to my temp folder where I told it to create them, and there's the imp and the dep data. Let's see if it didn't put an insert statement in there either. So there you go. There's your correlated data easily off of this report, and you can easily call this report your master detail browser. We'll go back to it because now you can see related data. This is a great learning curve if you've just picked up an application. If you're only interested in related data, this is a good way to see the related data off of a primary table. I put the slides in here to show you some of the things that I did. There's the report, and then there's me built. You build the first one, and then you edit it. Child report, add child, edit the query, make sure you make it related to a colon, whatever the column is in the original query, and it works. And then I just right mouse clicked on the data grid and picked the export. I hope you found this tip useful. It's pretty easy to add it yourself. It's pretty easy to build this master detail report. It's pretty easy to save the related data. Okay, I hope you found this tip useful. The slides and the link to this presentation will be out on my website shortly. Tell your friends, and I will see you next week. Thank you, and remember me for your training needs. Remember the Advanced PL/SQL class coming up in February. Take care, have a great week, and I will see you next week.